everyone, it's AFC Finners here in one of my favourite places in the world, Wales. We're at the Cardiff City Stadium to see Cardiff take on Aston Villa. It's the day after England beat Wales in the World Cup. Not too smug about that. 3-0. It's a poignant night here for the Bluebirds as two teams come together to play a friendly match to pay tribute to the late great Peter Whittingham. Played many hundreds of games for Cardiff, but he lost his life sadly just over 2 years ago. Peter Whittingham is a player, I don't think I've heard anyone ever say a bad thing about him. He's a great midfielder. I believe I saw him play once for Cardiff in a friendly against Cheltenham. So it'll be an emotional night, but let's hope it can be a fitting send-off. Me and Tomaldo are just by the players' entrance. We're going to see them as they come in. I won't be saying good evening to Unai Emery. I think he might get a bit cross. But let's go over, see if we can meet anyone. We've got a Cardiff City fan here, so obviously it's an emotional night for your club. What does the name Peter Whittingham mean to you?
One word is legend. He gave so much to the club both on and off the pitch, and he was just a general, humble, nice guy.
And many Cardiff fans have many different memories of like such a great player. What personally was your favourite memory of him?
I think his free kick at Leicester City away, right on the touchline, and somehow he's beat the keeper at the near post. Wonderful effort, and if anyone was going to pull it off, it was only Wits.
And if he's watching on tonight, what's something you'd like to say to him?
Thank you, because he provided me, as growing up with so many memories, and I think a lot of Cardiff fans would like to say thank you as well. So here's to you, Wits.
So we've got David Hunt here, one of the Cardiff fans has told me he's one of the most famous supporters. So David, it's an emotional night for Cardiff City. What does the name Peter Whittingham mean to you?
99 goals from midfield, absolutely genius. Right foot, bang, in the net from free kicks and that. Absolutely genius. One of the best, probably in the top two best midfielders we've ever had in the history of Cardiff City. Peter Whittingham, the other one, Gavin Kavanagh. I've done a silhouette of Peter Whittingham, and I gave it to David Malson to give to James Whittingham on my behalf. So he's going to do that tonight. So that's one of the objects of the night taken care of.
Well, good on you for doing that.
Yes.
And there must be so many memories Peter Whittingham gave you in his time at Cardiff. But to you personally, what is your favourite memory of him?
Well, he gave me a shirt at the end of the. I got his last ever playing shirt in the house.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was against Sunderland when we lost 2-0. I seen him on a Saturday in the players' dance, and he said, you backed me all these years. Do you want my shirt? So he went downstairs, got his shirt, and I got in the frame in the house now.
Oh, that's amazing. A treasured memory.
Yeah. And I got Dave Marshall's as well, but and Mangas. I got 98 playing shirts in the house, Cardiff City.
Oh, wow. So in terms of, like you said, he's one of the best midfielders you've had. In terms of your favourite Cardiff players, where does he rank?
In the top 5.
Oh, fantastic. And last thing, if Peter Whittingham is watching, what would you like to say to him for his years of service he gave you?
Thank you very, very much. We're all very, very grateful for your 99 league goals, and particularly the one at Middlesbrough, where we got in the semi-final of the FA Cup, and we beat Joe Ledley, scored against Barnsley, and then... And he scored the penalty for us against Liverpool in the League Cup final. Very, very. He only missed one penalty in his entire life down here, and that was against Crystal Palace in the rain.
That's brilliant. Well, what an incredible array of memories he's given you, and I'm sure it'll be a lovely tribute tonight. Thank you for taking time.
Pleasure.
Ollie Watkins.
He's way taller than I really. Hello, Unai. Often you have a four-time Europa League winning coach right next to you.
Good evening.
You get the pictures, I'll get the video.
How didn't he? I can't just get to the back of their head.
Good evening. There is a statue of Frederick Charles Keenor, the only other captain to lead Cardiff City to a major trophy, the FA Cup in 1927. So I've been to Cardiff several times, but never a match here. We came here a few years ago on a day out, had a walk around the stadium, and at the statue I was just at, they had loads of floral tributes to Emiliano Sala. So it wasn't long after he passed away. But yeah, I've been meaning to do a game here for many years. I do have a fondness for Wales, as I'm sure you all know. It's great to finally tick this one off the list. But you know, onto the lights. It's going to be good fun. The stadium looks very exciting from the outside. So we're just going to do a quick circuit. Also going to go to Memorial Gardens over there. They've got the gates of the club's old home, Ninian Park, over there. What are you thinking, Tom?
It's alright.
It's alright. He's done the Vito Corleone face of approval.
Vito Corleone.
Let's go to the garden. There they are. The gates of the old Ninian Park. Important that history is preserved. And here we have Memorial Garden. The Cardiff faithful no longer with us. Bluebirds in the sky, and now Peter Whittingham flies amongst them. I just spotted this, a memorial to the late great Jock Stein, who lost his life in Cardiff back in 1985. Rest in peace, Big Jock. Time to go into our seats at the Cardiff City Stadium, but before we do, let's find out a little bit about today's hosts, Cardiff City. Cardiff City were founded in 1899 as Riverside FC, set up for the purpose of keeping players of the Riverside cricket team fit during winter. After Cardiff was granted city status in 1905, they changed their name to Cardiff City in 1907. Due to not having the required facilities, they were initially denied a place in the newly formed second division, so they played a number of friendlies against high-profile sides to help gain interest in the team, and this helped them secure a new home in Ninian Park. The acquisition of this ground helped them turn professional in 1910, and they joined the Southern Football League second division. In 1920, they were granted a spot in the Football League, joining the second tier. They finished second place in their maiden season, sealing promotion to the top flight. They narrowly missed out on the league title in their third season in the first division, after Huddersfield beat them on goal average. Had Len Davis not missed a penalty for Cardiff in a 0-0 draw on the final day, they would have won the league. The next season, they made their first trip to Wembley, as they appeared in their first FA Cup final in 1925, but there was further heartache as they lost to Sheffield United. They would return 2 years later, facing Arsenal. There was no disappointment this time, as a goal from Hughie Ferguson saw them beat the Gunners 1-0 to win the FA Cup, their first and to date only major trophy. 150,000 people lined the streets of Cardiff to welcome home the victorious side. They added further honours to their cabinet this year, winning the Welsh Cup and Community Shield. However, this was followed by a period of decline, as they were relegated in 1929 and soon dropped into the 3rd Division South. Results in this division were so dire that manager Fred Stewart resigned after 22 years in the hot seat. They remained in the 3rd Division until after World War II. Billy McCandless won the 3rd Division South in 1947, and in 1952 they finally returned to the top flight, and would experience a number of promotions and relegations between the 3rd and 2nd tiers before the end of the decade. In the 1960s, as winners of the Welsh Cup, they entered the European Cup Winners' Cup, and went all the way to the quarter-finals before losing to Real Zaragoza. Despite being a second-tier side, 2 years later they reached the semi-finals, narrowly losing out on a place in the final to Hamburg. No Welsh team has gone further in the European competition since. In 1971, they experienced further joy in the competition, defeating Real Madrid 1-0 at Ninian Park in the first leg of the quarter-finals, but sadly lost 2-0 to Los Blancos in the second leg. Their league form was unimpressive, and after a lengthy period dominated by time in the second tier, they fell further down in the 1980s, even ending up in the 4th tier of points. In 2000, the future seemed brighter, following the purchase of the club by Lebanese businessman Sam Hammam. In 2003, they sealed promotion to 2nd tier by defeating QPR in the playoff final. In 2008, the club were back at Wembley for the FA Cup final against Portsmouth, but narrowly missed out on the trophy after a goal from Nwankwo Kanu sealed the cup for Pompey. The next year, Cardiff moved into their current home, the Cardiff City Stadium. They reached Wembley again in 2012, losing the League Cup final to Liverpool on penalties, and in 2013 they won the Championship to become a Premier League side for the first time. Sadly, they were relegated after 1 season. In 2016, Neil Warnock took over, with the club's second bottom. He turned their fortunes around and they were promoted to the Premier League after finishing 2nd in the Championship in 2018. Sadly, their return to the Premier League was overshadowed by tragedy, when January signing Emiliano Sala lost his life when the plane he was travelling on to Cardiff from France crashed in the English Channel. Amongst the tiers, Cardiff were relegated straight back to the Championship. Cardiff remain in the 2nd tier, hoping to rebuild and seal a spot in the Premier League once again. Overall, they've won 1 4th Division title, 1 3rd Division title, 1 2nd Division title, 22 Welsh Cups, and 1 FA Cup. A bit of trivia, Cardiff City were the first team the whole country was able to observe win the FA Cup, as the 1927 FA Cup final was the first time the match was broadcast live on the radio by the BBC. So those are our hosts, Cardiff City. Let's have a look inside their home, the Cardiff City Stadium. There we go, we've got our seats just by the halfway line, nice and early before the game. We've got pictures of Peter Whittingham up there on the screen showing all the memories. There's a nice atmosphere here. It's a sad day, but I feel like everyone wants to come together and smile about the memories. I think Tom. Yeah, he found this game. Like I said, we've been wanting to do Cardiff for ages. At long last we can. And since we are in the land of my fathers, I decided to go for some Welsh delicacy, good old Welsh cakes. They're my favourite things, they're delicious. All these kids over here, I've got them to line up in the 7. Lovely touch. Minutes in, Cardiff take the lead. Tanner has been played through into the Villa box and he's curled it beyond the goalkeeper. Deadlock finally broken, 1-0 to Cardiff. Half time is 1-0, as Tom just said. The goal was the only thing to happen, but it's a nice evening, we're enjoying ourselves, it's a fun tribute. It's a really nice stadium, and yeah, not the best game, but that hasn't spoiled a fun evening. Yeah, let's see what happens in the second half. Will there be more goals? It'll probably finish 1-0. Half time, Cardiff 1, Villa 0. So Tom has never had a Welsh cake before. Here we go, enjoy. Oh, moment of truth. Hey, he does like it.
It's like a scone.
It is like a scone, but yeah, I got lucky. Without realising, I bought chocolate chip, so no raisins, so it's even better. It has Tom's seal of approval.
In the front row. Oh, God.
About 10 minutes into the second half, and Keon Atete has doubled Cardiff's lead. Ball's played across him in the box and he's neatly slotted it into the top corner. It's probably sealed the win for Cardiff, 2-0. Villa got one back, a corner swung in. To me it looks like it bounced off the keeper as he tried to punch it on. Very scrappy goal, but Villa back in it, 2-1. Two-goal advantage restored for Cardiff. Ball's been swung in and Keon Atete has headed it in. His second goal, 3-1 Cardiff. Full time at Cardiff City Stadium. Cardiff win 3-1 to pay the perfect tribute to perhaps their greatest ever player. It's a fun evening, a fun way to pay tribute. Smiles on everyone's faces as they remember their great number 7, a Bluebird in the sky, Peter Whittingham. Good momentum for Cardiff as they prepare for the return following the World Cup. Full time, Cardiff City 3, Aston Villa 1. So that was the Cardiff City Stadium, home of Cardiff City. Really, really nice evening on an emotional night for Cardiff and Villa supporters. But they paid a fantastic tribute to Peter Whittingham, and supporters were absolutely lovely, really welcoming, chatty. Love hearing Welsh accents all the time. But yeah, really nice place to come and watch football. Very good stadium. Honestly, can't think of anything negative to say about it. I'm really glad that I finally be able to take this stadium off my list, and you know, on what was an emotional evening, and you know, lots of people came out, about 10,000, even though the World Cup is on, and you know, it's a cold night in the last day of November. It's really nice to see so many people going out of the way to attend to pay tribute. But yeah, thoroughly recommend coming here in the middle of one of the best cities in the UK. Had a lovely time. Thank you to Mardo for finding it. And I'd like to finish by saying, Peter Whittingham, if you are there watching, you were a player that everyone loved and nobody ever had a bad word to say about you. And seeing all those goals you scored on the big screen, it brings back so many memories of seeing you on, like, you know, the old Football League show and the Championship, all those great moments you brought Cardiff supporters. Fair play for what you did. So, I'd like to finish by saying, here's to you, Peter Whittingham. City loves you more than you will know.